Hey, welcome. So we are joined by the band Cybertronic Spree. How are you doing, bots?
What's up, Earth? How's it going, Cliff? Thanks for having us.
Great. I'm very glad that you're here at this virtual Comic-Con. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about the band. Can you tell me a little bit about how the band got started? And did you have a goal or purpose for the band itself?
Yeah, well, we really thought that, we would get all of our old friends and enemies together for one night only and just have it out on stage. And you know what? Some of us actually liked it. And we didn't all die. So here we are playing shows night after night. And that's the really short version of the band.
Okay, great. Speaking of dying, you're reminding me that how's that Energon, by the way? Energon delicious?
It's great. It's a nice local brewery. We're up here in Toronto, Canada for the time being.
Fantastic. And so speaking of dying, a couple of years ago, Spike died. And then he came back. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I felt like I missed an episode or something.
Yeah, well, go ahead, RC.
I was gonna say, like, we can't divulge the secrets of bringing humans back to life.
Fantastic.
Wow, okay, just NDA'd that one.
It's like RC just lawyered up.
I mean, fair enough. That's a pretty good point. But needless to say, we have access to Beyond the Grave Spike from time to time when an emergency arises. I think there was a few years back, we pulled Spike out of the grave just to go with us down to Huntsville, Alabama for a night of partying. And nobody was more shocked than Spike. He had no idea we were gonna do this. We just kidnapped him and forced him to play some music. So it was a fun time.
Okay, that's fantastic. When the band started out, at least when I started seeing you guys perform, Rumble was the drummer, and now I see Shockwave at most shows. Is there some animosity from you, Rumble, that Shockwave took your place, or,
No, not at all. I'm sure you've had some jobs in the past where some days you just don't feel like going to work. One time I wanted to go to the beach with Megatron, and we had a show, but I really wanted to go to the beach, so I got Shockwave out of his. He spends a lot of time in isolation, that guy, and I figured, let's get Shockwave out to a show and see how he does. Shockwave never played drums before, and then he was good. So I was like, all right, I don't have to worry about this anymore.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if any of our listeners are also from bands, but, having to rely on a single drummer, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So when Rumble just decided to flake out, we're like, well, we better have some ringers on board. So yeah, now it's both Shockwave and Rumble, and they'll switch back and forth between the gigs, or sometimes we'll get them both, and the audience can decide which one rules.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, the instruments that you play are traditionally human instruments. Do you find them inspiring? And maybe what inspires you to write songs with those instruments?
Yeah, so here's the thing about robots from Cybertron. There's no music on Cybertron. It's terrible. It sounds like dial-up modem. It just sounds like beeps and bobs and ones and zeros. It's got no soul. So when we heard Earth music, it really touched our sparks. And so we decided to learn how to play these instruments. And that was a very long and horrible learning arc. But we finally got there. And we're able to play these instruments now without breaking them after each rehearsal. And it's been great ever since. And we really just want to play tribute to all of the incredible music that your planet makes, because let's be honest, nothing else in the solar system is making music like you guys. Nothing.
Oh, thanks, man. That's really sweet. And so I'll ask the question again. Which human bands, considering that you play human instruments, which human bands influence you the most to maybe write your own songs?
I'm gonna say I like Beck. Beck he's a man, and he assembled he assembles musicians, but I really like him, and I really like. What else do I like, Hot Rod? I don't know. This is a tough question. I think we'll let you choose one next.
Rumble, I've never heard you at a loss for words, so that's kind of an impressive. This is an impressive question, but you know what? The band is coming from all sorts of different background influences, and that's kind of why we really didn't think we were going to work together as a band. I mean, there's not too many bands that pick up their worst enemies and decide to play music with them. So yeah, Rumble's got some influence on that side. Rumble, I thought you were a huge fan of like Electric Six,
yeah,
Ghost, and
yeah, I like a lot of dirty dancey stuff, and then also a lot of hip hop, lots of '90s dance, like some of the staples too, like Darude, and then also Hadaway, Scatman. I love that jam.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Myself, I guess I was coming from, the origin of the band, which was the Transformers the movie soundtrack. Like that's really what kicked off the whole thing. So, I was driving around and I had that soundtrack jamming on the stereo, and I was like, this would be amazing to bring live. And so, I mean, artists like Stan Bush and Vince DiCola, without saying, also Kick-Axe, Lion, NRG, and Weird Al Yankovic. It was such a crazy melange of things that just, it was all these different influences, but it was brought together in this incredible whole. And that's kind of just the best part of describing how our band formed. It's the same thing. RC's an incredible vocal talent. Unicron is unmatched with the guitar. And Shockwave and Rumble just kill it on those drums. And all of those influences blend together and just put on this really great rock show. RC, what's your biggest influence in the band, you'd say?
Oh, my biggest influence, I would have to say it's all the other bots in the band.
Oh, musical influence. Like what bands do you like?
Oh, musical influence. Oh my God. Well, it's no secret that I like stuff heavy. I'm into things like Merciful Fate and Faith No More. Yeah, I don't know. But I also like things like Lizzo, and sometimes I listen to Britney Spears.
You're talking about this earlier, but considering that all the robots are from different factions, it's Autobots, Decepticons, Quintessons, does it get political? Considering guys had what bloody oily murdering happening during the wars, so
definitely. And I mean, here's the thing, right? Is there's a lot of bad stuff between all of us, and there's a lot of things that you do in times of duress, and that's kind of what this band also represents, is the fact that we're moving away from these rigid ideologies and the rigidness of being a part of that faction. The Cybertronic Spree is its own thing, and it's what rock music does, and that is bring people together. So that's why it's like we've got Decepticons and we've got Autobots and we've got mechanical monsters beyond your wildest imagination. And it's because we are just here to rock your face off that it works. And I mean, yeah, that still doesn't mean, we're going to be fighting all the time over this stuff. And it's important that we do so. But the bigger picture is that the power of rock music cannot be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, war sucks. Make rock, not war.
Right on. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Truthfully, when we do fight, we're mostly fighting about, okay, what part comes after this part in the song? Like, how are we going to write this? And that's where most of our battles are. They're creative battles between ourselves and also within. And actually, anytime I feel like maybe I'm being a jerk or stepping out of line, I've got this magnet and I just rub it on my head, and then I forget about being a jerk. I also forget a few other things, but mostly I forget that I was being a jerk.
I taught him that.
That's fantastic. You were mentioning Hot Rod earlier that about RC's vocals, and I have to agree they are fantastic, as well as yourself. Now, there was a rumor that I was reading on Twitter that you guys actually use the Autobots use auto-tune. Is this true or false?
Wow.
Slander. Just
Wow.
slander. You know what? I will admit to of using the auto-tune exactly once on Earth, and I actually had a lot of fun because I was just doing some improv, like R&B stuff, and it was pretty great. Like, I got to admit, I think it would sound pretty fun to use it, but I think the style we're using, like rock music, it doesn't really lend itself to being auto-tuned. So, I mean, I think that's our biggest defense is I would love to be auto-tuned, but it just doesn't come across very well in sort of like a rock show.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I think what we like about human music are the sort of imperfections you get, you know, at each live show. You know, you're just that sort of like thrill of like, are you gonna get there when you're hitting that note? Maybe not. But we rock out and we rock out hard. So I think auto-tune would kind of kill that, even though it'd feel pretty safe. But I love auto-tune.
RC, that's a perfect point there. And yeah, much love out to T-Pain, who really like popularized that that sound. And no disrespect, right? But I think it's more that, you know, this band and why you want to see this band, aside from, you know, hey, look at this perfection right here, is that musically, we are the biggest car crash waiting to happen, quite literally. And we don't know what's going to happen, and neither does our audience. And that realness, that rawness, like RC pointed out, it just keeps the excitement going because we are doing this and we are no holds barred. We are no wires. There are no safety nets. It is literally us freaking out as bad and as hard as we can. And seeing us actually pull some stuff off, I gotta say, just objectively speaking, is pretty impressive.
And
I'm impressed that you've never fallen off the stage. I mean, it happens to Steven Tyler all the time.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that moment, right? I feel like we're not large enough to have me fall off the stage. Like, we need to get a bit more clout, larger stadium shows, and then I can take a nice one right off the front.
What we need
I've
to
fallen
do?
off the stage.
What you did?
Yeah, it was Nerd Noise Night 2019.
Oh,
the whole piece band came down with me, and then like some humans caught me and like just hoisted me back up. It was amazing.
Oh, I must have not been paying attention.
Yeah, I felt like I was floating.
maybe you used your magnet on yourself, Rumble, and you don't remember that part.
It's possible.
Yeah.
You know, when you keep recording over tape cassettes again and again and again.
Yeah. I guess that's what happens.